Let's just go out on it a little bit and have some fun. I got nothing on, though. I have no PPE. But what fun. Let's try a little bit here. Oh yeah, let's turn. Woo! This is black ice, guys. You can hear. I can tell you when I first rode on it, when I moved to Oregon, almost killed myself actually. I went into the mountain rather than over the edge, and it was dangerous. Yeah, so never get out on this in a car. But that rear end is just slick as can be, slick as snot. Yeah, all right, I'm about to call it. I just wanted to show you, look at. Oh, that's fun. There's like an ice rink, guys. All right, hey everybody, RV Enthusiast here. Nice seeing you again. Welcome back to my channel. The Mooncool MC3 bike is here. We are certainly in the rainy season. I don't know if you can tell it by my floor, but when the cars get parked in here, with all the rain we have in Oregon, it's on the floor. Mooncool TK1 folding trike right there. Sales of that allowed Mooncool to give this bike to me. Anyway, let's get to opening. Yeah, I've been off a little bit, not working on my channel so much. I got a couple of helmets here too. These are microphone helmets, so, but I've been off a little bit because, one, the holiday, two, New Year's, both holidays, Christmas and New Year's, and secondly, my oldest son had a flood, not a flood, a small leak in his house that's been leaking for 7 years, a drip every 5 to 10 seconds. And the problems that caused over 7 years is incredible. One drip every 5 seconds don't seem like a lot, folks. And it wouldn't be a lot if you took gallons of it and poured it at one time. But when you drip a little bit at a time, over years, the devastation is amazing. Anyway, we're working on that, trying to get that resolved. The bike is nicely packed. This is a heavy bike. I'm going to try to lift it here. And there we have it. The box that the power supply and pedals and stuff came in was damaged in the bottom. Not a big deal. Parts are in the bottom of the box. We will take care of that and we'll start assembly. Box is empty. Here's the charger. A couple of pedals. Tool bag. And some other things that we need to put on it. But let's see what we got. All right, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the wheel off, talk to you a little bit about what we got going on there. All right, so this bike has a rear motor and a front motor, but what I want to see is what kind of tires this has. The symbol is WD, like Western Digital, but it's not a tire I've heard of. It looks good, it feels good. So let's move on. So that's what a 20-inch tire and a 26-inch tire look like next to each other. The 26-inch tire is quite a bit bigger. All right, let's move on, guys. All right, guys, first thing we need to do is start stripping the bike down, getting all these pieces of foam, cardboard, and zip ties off. Once we get that done, putting the bike together is easy. I'm gonna do this real fast so I won't be talking. Real quick, I used to work for a company that made these. The original manufacturer of these kind of straps is called Panduit in Tinley Park, Illinois. Just so you know how strong these are, the tensile strength of these straps here, these bigger straps, 250 to 400 and something pounds. Pretty amazing, the tensile strength of this type of strap. They do come in bigger too. A double wide of this is very, very strong. That's why they use them for temporary handcuffs. Very strong products. If you see this little orange, could be black or red, but this one's orange, spacer, not on, but just like I found out off the bike, do not squeeze your brakes. This is a spacer for hydraulic brakes that keep the hydraulic brakes from squeezing shut by accidentally squeezing the brake. It's only on one. The back one's already, the wheel's on, so no issue there, but the front one doesn't have the wheel on, and if I squeeze the front brake, it's going to bring the caliper together, and it's going to bring the brake pads together, and it's not impossible, but it's very hard to get those back. So I found mine lying on the floor, so I'm not going to squeeze my brake. I wouldn't squeeze the brake anyway, but for you who don't know, don't squeeze the brake if you see this outside of your off your caliper. All right, Mooncool gives you plenty of tools in this little bag. These are tools if you're just putting one together. I have put a lot together, so usually I use my my own set of personal Allen wrenches and wrenches. In this case, I'm going to use some of their tools. That's a very nice bag. Feels a little different than the typical ones I've been getting. This one's pretty nice. A nice Phillips screwdriver too. And then another plus. These are very nice chrome-plated wrenches. They can give you a lot less of a wrench than this. This is nice. Trust me, I've done a lot of these. This is a nice wrench. Two ways of doing this. One, you can spin this or spin this. I'm spinning this because it's just easier for me. From there, just look down the barrel. I'm going to tighten this back up. It's a little loose anyway, so I'm going to tighten that up. And the reason I don't usually do this is this compresses this segment here and takes the wobble out of the throat here. So that's kind of why I don't usually do this like this one. I usually go just like this. Even if I'm going to make a small adjustment, I undo these two to make that small adjustment. Easy enough now. All I got to do is take this off, put the handlebars on, then we can put the tire on. I'm going to put these in my pocket. Yeah, I noticed, so I took a little short video, and when I look down to the mic, the volume gets louder, and when I look up, the volume's pretty good, pretty normal. So I try not to look down at the mic. Might have to place it a little bit differently, but right now this is pretty good. It certainly is better than the echoey garage sound when I use the Rode mic or the Movo mic that I use for a little tiny shotgun mic. They're good mics, but much better outside, outdoors, or in the house. Out here, we're pretty echoey because there's nothing to absorb sound. Yeah, I had a wonderful Christmas, wonderful New Year's. Didn't do nothing on New Year's, just sat here and watched New Year's Day, or New Year's midnight thing in Las Vegas. Okay, so I'm just going to set these up here. Don't know how I want them. Probably something like that. This has about a 1 inch rise on it, fairly straight bar. I'm going to give it a try for a while. I tend to like the bar to swoop back a little bit. So generally I use a riser type bar. Yeah, Lee. Yeah, all-wheel drive bike. It's a first for me. It's the first one I've seen as a manufacturer. I guess there are other ones I've seen that are all-wheel drive, kind of like a Grizzly or something like that. But for a full-size bike, this is pretty nice. Now to begin with, just tight like that. You don't have to cinch them like they're your road tire, your car tire. Just get them tight like that for now. Now another thing, this green plug is not plugged in, and this needs to be turned up. So just kind of look over your wires. On both the trike and the bike, I think probably Mooncool is purposely leaving these two unplugged. But just plug it in. Just align it. There's an aligner and a notch. Line those up, hold those properly, and plug it in. There we go. So let's move to it right now. So it'll come with this thing on it. All you gotta do is take this off. Peel it off. Okay, I'm going to take the nuts off. There's a spacer. Actually, this is an anti-turn washer. This keeps the axle from turning. And there's also one on this side. Okay. Now, the tire will go on this way. So we'll set that there. This is just a spacer. Shipping stabilizer, basically. Now, you can either turn the bike over or you can just lift it up. On this bike, I'm going to lift it up. You can do it either way. And there we go. We're in. And make sure your wire's pointed backwards. Now we're going to take the anti-roll spacer, shove it in. Turn the cap on. We'll do the same thing to the other side. The larger part goes towards the bottom, guys. See if I can show you that on this one. So this here goes into the bottom and locks into this little slit right there. Then that goes on. Here's your motor, 3-pin, slide it up. Only goes one way, guys. Lock that in. Now we need to tighten these down and also probably put another zip tie right here. Let's see what they gave us in the box. I don't know, what's that, 19? 19. Now on this, if you wanted to use a socket, you could. Don't touch this rotor. Touching the rotor makes it dirty. Then you have to clean it with some isopropyl alcohol. That's good. Now we'll tighten this one over here. Okay. So the front wheel's on. Now we need to put the pedals on. See, ordinarily I'd use my own tools on the pedals and the nuts and everything else because my tools are just better. But the chrome wrenches are good enough. I'm not gonna. So these should be marked an L and an R somewhere. And I'm a little bit blind, but here's the L, left side. Here's the R, right side. So on the right side, goes like you're reading it, like a clock moves, clockwise. Turn it on. I think this is a 17. Yeah, on this one it's a 17. Beautiful paint job. Old school, like nice old 1970s and 80s cars versus, you know, like today, people like that flat stuff. Kids like the flat stuff. Now this one goes counterclockwise. Now, if you get the second battery, it goes up in here, plugs in here. If you get the fender kit, fender and ramp or rack goes here. I think mine's still in the mail, or they didn't ship me one. I'm going to check on that, and we'll finish this video up. If we get it, we'll finish it up. Otherwise, we'll go into some other stuff with it. But hopefully, fingers crossed, they're sending it. All right, now we need to charge the battery. There's the key. So we'll pull the battery out. And let's take a look at what this battery says, all right, guys? So 48 volt, 14.5 amp hour battery. And that's what we have. And a little plug for up here. This little tiny plug, you'll see it, goes right up here in this hole to make it all black. That's all it does. Just makes this all black rather than seeing a bolt. Kind of cool. Let's go in here. Like so. Washer. Nylon nut. I like nylon nuts. Nylon nuts are way better than locking washers. All right, now I got to tie that, tighten that up, and that'll be done. I don't think that it needs to, but we're going to put 2 on it just for grins. One right up here by the motor, the connector, motor connector. And there that is. I could do a little better job on those with these. There we go, better. And now all I got to do is tighten this up. Charge the battery. All right, I think it's an 8. There's the 8. Nope, might be the 10. It's a 10. Okay, that's a start. Ooh, kind of like that. Here's this. Here's the red plug. Again, there's a notch aligner. And there we go. All right, everything's done except for charging the battery, so let's charge it up. All right, real quickly, let's go over the charger. It is a 54 volt, which makes it a 48 volt battery charger, 2 amp. So I'm going to plug this in here. Then this should plug in the side right here. Now I'll charge this battery and then we'll come back to it. So the Mooncool battery came in. The rack and fenders have not yet. They still say they're on a truck today, but we'll see. But the Mooncool battery came damaged. Now, the box looks great. I do not blame this on Mooncool at all, because this box has been traveling from California to here and sitting somewhere on trucks for 4 or 5 days. I should have had this last week and just got it. But here's the pieces. Here's this. It doesn't look like it's going to affect it going in. So just got to be a little more careful with it in and out. But I think it'll work. I'll let Mooncool know. But I don't think it's a big deal. We'll see. Let's put it on. I'm just going to sit up on here. In the little bag, they give you a new set of keys for this battery. All right, so first thing you got to do is unlock this, slide this down. You might need to take a screwdriver and push it down. Then that'll unlock the bracket. Now from there we can set the battery aside and we can mount this right here. Now in my case, this came broken. Thank you, FedEx. But still fits in there nicely. I'm not worried about it coming out. Then I'll take this. Now Mooncool gives you 3 other screws that are Phillips. And it might be because this head sits a little high. If it's the case, we'll put those Phillips ones on. And there we go. Now I got to charge this battery up, and we have to wait for the fenders and rack. All right, guys, we're out for a ride on the Mooncool MC3. And here's what's going on here. We'll go this way. This is the first nice day we've had in 2 weeks. I've had this bike for since about the first of the year. In watching this video, you're going to see that I built the bike, and then I had to sit on it because we had bad weather come in. And after I built the bike, I was waiting for the battery to come in, the secondary battery. Well, that finally came in. And then I was waiting on the rack and the fenders. Well, this is our only nice day. Tomorrow might be a decent day. But finally, FedEx told me the fenders and the rack will be coming today. Well, that was a lie, because they then told me it would be tomorrow because the driver's already left and took things with him. So, okay, fine, that's fine. And I'm like, well, they called me yesterday saying that it was going to be, it would be today, that it was on a hold. And I was like, okay, I can wait a day. And then, so they said it would be today, and then I called them this morning after it was supposed to have been here by 10 o'clock. And they said, oh, no, it's still sitting here. It might get there today. So it might be tomorrow, too. So I'm riding without fenders. I'm riding without a rack. And I'm only riding because I know the road, as you can see a little bit in front of me, is a little bit dry. So I'm not going to be shoving a big old mud spot up my backside here. Didn't want to do that, so I've been very cautious. And we've been so wet, so snowy. You can see by the last video and a little bit on the trike on this video that it's pretty nasty. Pretty nasty. So what I'm trying to do here, let's see, let's do this, because I haven't got all this figured out yet. There we go. Now I got it figured out. All right. So what we're doing here, we are riding on the Mooncool MC3. This is a 500 watt rear motor and a 500 watt front motor mountain bike. And with the weather that we have and stuff, I can't show you how well it does on hills and stuff, but I can tell you just the way it sits pretty good. It leans forward just a tad, not significant, not something I couldn't ride for quite a while like this. So certainly it's a pretty good ride. 500 watt front motor, 500 watt back motor, has a front drive, which is right there. I don't know why you would just use front drive by itself when you could use the push motor like that. There's the push motor or the rear motor. And because if you are on gravel or loose stuff, the front motor, if it spins out from under you, you'll take a tumble. So I don't know why you would use the front motor by itself. But in dual motor mode, holy cow, you can just feel by flipping it over the difference in power, significant difference in power. This has a 7-speed shifter. It's an undermount shifter in black, beautiful, love it. It looks great. It has press-on grips that fit really nice. I usually have bikes that have the little palm rest. This one doesn't because it's a mountain bike. Hydraulic shocks, the 5-star hydraulic shocks from Star Union. It has an A2 derailleur. I'm not familiar with the brand, but it seems just fine. It shifts just fine, very quickly, very quietly. Doesn't create any kind of issues or noises shifting. This it's a 48 volt system, and the original battery is 14.5 amps. The secondary battery that I have on it is another 14.5 amps, giving you 29 amps of power. 29 amps of power, guys, will take you a long way. 20 amp batteries usually take me between 28 and 30 miles on a 750 watter. So 28 should take me a lot longer if I'm just using like I am now, 500 watts. This should easily take you around 40 miles when dealing with a single motor. And this is just fine with single motor. If you go into dual motor, now you're running about 1,000 watts, and you still should get around 30 or 32 or 35, something like that. It should be that good. This has a lot of torque. This has 75 Newton meters of torque on the back, 75 Newton meters of torque on the front, and that gives you a lot of power to get up hills and do things you want to do. Now, the cool thing about that is 150 Newton meters of torque is more than any bike I own currently. And it can get you up and down. It can get you in grasses like this out here. It would have no problem getting through that. The thing that all this torque does, and they're only 500 watt motors, although that's 1,000 total watts with both, it doesn't have a high top end. The speed on this is going to be 20 to 25 miles an hour. It will not reach 28 miles an hour no matter what you do in your settings. I haven't touched the settings yet, but let's just go and see what it does here. Let's go to, that's single motor right there. And it's doing 17, 18, 19, 19.2. Now we'll go to double motor, dual motor. And it's going to do the same. Nope, it's going to pick up again. Now I'm dual motor going up this slight incline. And yeah, so I haven't switched anything. Now if I pedal, she's working to get up. Let's see. Oh, I got to go to the top. Pedaling's real easy, about 19.5 again. 20, there's 20. So I'm sure there's a setting that you can set in the parameters to get you a little faster and get you to going about 25. And that's plenty fast. That's plenty fast. Well, I'm just going to do this because I want to talk to you. Comes with a nice light on the front, a projection style light. When you buy this bike, you will not be getting fenders and rack and spare batteries, so make sure you add those in because it's cheaper to add them in at this point in time while they're on sale and stuff than adding them later. Yeah, this is just like every other big fat tire bike in terms of how it feels. It doesn't feel crappy. Most people will probably want to replace the seat. I'm not a person that changes seats often. Of the 30-something bikes I've had, I've only changed seats on one. Every other one I've kept the same seat on because I can easily go an hour, get off the bike, take a little stretch break, get back on it and go another hour. And I don't usually ride more than 2 to 4 hours at a shot, so it's not that big of a deal to me. This has a 14 to 28 gear freewheel in the back. Like I said, 500 watt motor in the back. I'm going to run on the rear motor here because I don't need to run on both. There's nothing I'm doing that would cause me to run on both. So yeah, it's a fantastic bike. It's a fantastic feel. I was going to get it in red and I changed to white because I got the trike in white and I wanted the products from Mooncool to look the same. So most of my Mooncool products will be in white or red or blue or yellow, but the first two are in white. Anyway, the bike is pretty smooth. It rides very nice. I'm just trying to figure out some things that I can tell you that might be negative to it. And the only negative I can say is I'm probably getting dirt slung up on my back because I don't have my fenders on because they're not here. Oh, and by the way, those fenders have been in Portland for 2 weeks. They just haven't left FedEx. 2 weeks. You saw the amount of snow we had, and yeah, once we get any bit of snow, man, all the delivery people shut down. I've got another bike coming, and it's shut down in Troutdale, Oregon. So it goes to Troutdale to Portland. So it comes in from California, goes to Troutdale, which I guess is their sort facility. And then from there it goes to Portland and it gets on a delivery truck and comes to the house. So that's what's happening there on another bike. And yeah, so jumping back into this thing, I cannot tell you, this is a fairly reasonably priced bike too. I think it's $16.99. You can use my coupon below to get some more money off. And let me tell you, it's worth it. It's a nice bike. It rides very nicely. I only have about 12 minutes. I want to try to keep this whole video under 40. So I've got about 12 minutes to talk to you, and so I know I'll edit some of this out because this will be a longer than 12-minute ride. And I'm sorry about that, but I take up too much time building and talking and taking pictures, and so the ride is only going to be about 12 minutes. And this is more of a first impression ride. This is not so much of a review ride, and I will give you a review ride as soon as we hit 60 degrees and we got some dry roads. I can step out onto some of the grassier, more crappy areas and also take it to a hill that is up over there somewhere. It's a large hill, very steep, and I want to see what this can do up that hill. I know it can make the hill. I don't know that any other bike that I have would make the hill. Now my scooters would make the hill because they just have so much more torque, lighter, the way they're built. just would make the hill, but none of the bikes I have would make that hill. Nope, none of them. This one will. But if this one won't, there's proof again, none of them will. Yeah, the most torque of any bike I have, sitting at 150 Newton meters. That's a lot of torque, guys. And I'm riding not in dual motor because I'm kind of on some gravelly material, and I certainly don't want to slip that front end out from under me. I'm surprised I'm keeping the tires fairly nice. They're not messy. I don't have them full of gunk yet, even in this. This is the day after rain. In fact, it rained this morning a little bit, and then it rained. Oh man, so much rain and snow here in Portland, Oregon, man, it's crazy. The snow never materialized like crazy here in Hillsboro, but I think that's one of the reasons the bike's stuck in Troutdale and all the other stuff gets stuck in Troutdale, because Troutdale is closer to Mount Hood, which is out that way. And with that being said, it catches a lot more snow. So I understand why they get stuck there, but I don't understand why once it thaws out, it doesn't move quicker. And I guess it's because how they pile them up, right? First in, first out kind of thing, maybe, I don't know. But they physically told me it's sitting on a truck. The fenders and rack are sitting on a truck, now sitting on the dock waiting to be picked up. But they were sitting on a truck for 2 weeks in a truck waiting for them to pick it up, empty the truck. I really never noticed everything on this bike is black and white. Black and white. So I do have some, what is that stuff called? Decal carbon fiber. I think I'm going to put it on that little patch where the pedals are, where the controller is sitting down there. I think I'm going to put a little carbon fiber down there, and maybe a few other spots of carbon fiber on the bike. It's a very pretty step through. Now, without that secondary battery on, step through, very easy. With a secondary battery on, let's see. I can do it. I can do it. I'm not a great fan because I don't lift my legs that high, guys. I can do it, and I'll do it to get on when I ride away. But I'm used to tipping the bike over and stepping over the back wheel to get on. Without that battery, easy step over. Yeah, she's real pretty. She's real pretty. And the dual battery, you'll go a long, long way. The only thing this doesn't have, and I don't know if it comes in the fender rack package, is it doesn't have a light that connects to the controller. The controller probably has that feature, and you can probably hardwire it into that feature if you had one that was hardwired. So you can buy maybe another manufacturer's, or maybe Mooncool has one as well. I don't know. But on this, there we go. So now we're on, one's on. Oh, and this is a motion sensor, so when I brake, it slings like either some mercury or a guillotine switch and closes, and then the brake lights come on. So pretty nice little feature. Only problem is you'll have to charge that up every once in a while. Let's see. Yes, you didn't see it, but the lights do come on as soon as you have your momentum slowed down. Yeah, very pretty bike. I believe it's a 48 tooth or 42 tooth sprocket. I've never really seen much smaller than that. I could count them for you and put them in the comments if you want to really know. Yeah, hydraulic brakes, just a beautiful machine. And here's the thing, guys. I've talked about this a couple of times. I want to talk about it on this particular bike. You could buy a $4,000 bike. I don't know how much more you get for value. You can get all of this for $1,600 or $1,700. 29 amps of power, 1,000 watts of motor combined. Built well, nice company, very nice to deal with, and just ride to your heart content. And you could almost get 3 of these for, let's say, a, I don't know, some Specialized or some Trek or some other product. I'm trying to think of the one that's a real high-end mountain bike that's made in China as well. 4-letter word, I can't think of it right now. It's like Grays or Mays or something, I don't know. But very expensive bike. And I'm sure it's a nice bike. But when you're looking at this kind of money, well under 2,000 bucks. And if you didn't get the battery and fenders, well under 1,500 bucks. Why not get this and run it to death and then get another? Why not get this, you know, say you put 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 miles on it, get another. Those kind of miles are a lot of miles to put on. And yeah, I think that's what I would do. And that's exactly what I did. I rode my first bike for 13 years, 12 years before I got another. All right, now watch this front end spin. All right, so I put it in dual motor. I'm gonna take it back out of dual motor. Again, I don't need it here. And if you're interested in this bike, down in my description, you'll find the link and a coupon code. Use that link and coupon code and save yourself some money. You'll save certainly enough money for the fenders and rack. Maybe you'll save enough money to get the fenders, flares, or the fender, rack, and battery, at least something like that. You'll save 100 or 200 bucks off my code. I think you spend 1,500, you get 100 bucks off my, 200 bucks off my code. I'm not 100% sure because I have so many codes, and I'm now trying to separate them out and only put the codes that belong to the particular bike I'm representing at the time in the descriptions. This is pretty fabulous bike, guys. It's pretty fabulous bike, pretty fabulous ride, and it's smooth. I don't have any extra suspension on it. I know it doesn't have rear suspension, and I don't have a seat suspension, but it's pretty soft on this. Pretty soft on this. And you can make it even softer by deflating your tires a little bit. Not running them at the full whatever. If this one's 30, running it at 28, just run it at 22. Or if it's 20, run it at say 14 to 16. I typically run mine right at the limit, and running this at the limit, it's still pretty smooth. Yeah, I don't see any showstoppers on this, guys, at all. None. And for a first impression ride, it's pretty impressive. I'm going to come up a little bit more because it gets steeper as soon as I get right here. You can see where they've patched the road to start making the ramp. So we're at a dead stop, dual motor, and here we go. And I'm not going to pedal. Dual motor is just going to take it off. Takes off really smooth. There's no jerk motion on it, but it certainly gets up. You guys know this typically don't do 17, 18 miles an hour up here. So the torque certainly has the ability to get this thing up within 2 miles, even a mile, 1 mile an hour of its top speed. Very powerful torque, a whole lot of torque. Yeah, this is the first time all year, all winter, I've actually gone out there rather than staying inside the little area of the neighborhood. Yeah, this is a very nice bike, guys. And we will ride it again here as soon as we get an opportunity. Thanks for joining me, guys. Remember to look in the description and get the code, get the link, and buy this monster.